Last week, FBI anti-terror units raided the homes of activists in Minneapolis and Chicago. Warrants suggest the agents, who searched 8 different addresses, were looking for connections between anti-war activists and terrorist organizations in Colombia and the Middle East. In Minneapolis, the FBI searched the homes of people who have helped organize demonstrations against the war in Iraq and protests held 2 years ago during the Republican National Convention in St. Paul.
This morning at 7 a.m., 5 houses were raided by the FBI, as was the Anti-War Committee office. People were presented with search and seizure warrants, and stuff was hauled away from their houses. There were also people who were given subpoenas to appear before a grand jury in the next couple of weeks in Chicago.
In Chicago, anti-war activist Joe Isabaker and his wife Stephanie Weiner say the government targeted them because they've been outspoken against the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan and U.S. funding of conflicts abroad. They deny any wrongdoing. FBI agents in Chicago took a laptop and documents from the home of Palestinian-American anti-war activist Hatem Abudaya, who is the executive director of the Arab American Action Network. Abudaya wasn't home at the time of the raid because he was at a hospital with his mother, who was battling liver cancer. His nonprofit group advocates for Arabs and new immigrants. Recently, its focus has been to combat anti-Arab and anti-Muslim sentiment following the September 11, 2001 attacks. The FBI has declined to give details on the searches, saying the agency was investigating criminal activity not protected by the First Amendment. Word of the raids has sent a ripple throughout activist circles.
Don't come in the Twin Cities or anywhere and, excuse my language in this terms, with our activists.
Activist Mick Kelly, an organizer of a huge anti-war rally on the opening day of the 2008 Republican National Convention and a food service worker at the University of Minnesota, says the FBI kicked down his door at about 7 a.m. after he had already left for work. He said, quote, "To me, this is harassment of anti-war activists and leaders who have spoken against U.S. intervention in Latin America and the Middle East." Steve Warfield, a spokesman for the Federal Bureau of Investigation in Minneapolis, said the agents were seeking evidence related to activities connected to the material support of terrorism. He added that agents in Michigan and North Carolina had also questioned people in connection with the investigation. The raids came only days after a report by the Justice Department's Inspector General found that in recent years the FBI has been conducting baseless counterterrorism investigations on American activists.